All right, we just wrapped up recording the entire show for today, and then this news broke, and so full show viewers will plug this in somewhere. It's sort of a breaking news segment. Maybe we'll have more on it later. But the internet, because a video got published by the DOJ that, and I want to get ahead of it so that you know what it is in case anyone clickbait you into thinking it's something that it's not. Well, whatever. I'll give you what we know. Who knows? But what it appears to show, I don't know if I should play it because of the sensitivity of it. You can't really tell anything's happening. But what it's supposed to portray is Epstein committing suicide with a perfect little camera angle inside the cell. Now, you might be thinking, the DOJ posted this? Yes, that did happen. Because they're publishing everything they have, right? Not right, but they are saying that they are. And I'm only smiling because this is all just getting so absurd. They're doing everything wrong and it's freaking me out. And the only way I can cope with it is laughing. So then you think, wait, why is there a camera in the cell? I thought the whole thing was they didn't have a camera in the cell. But you had a perfect camera shot of him. And it was never at least even mentioned to the public that you had that. Because then otherwise, there's no reason to be believing that there were suspicious circumstances. But then you examine it further and you think, this doesn't even look right. This looks like a puddle of orange. That doesn't look like a jumpsuit. Maybe he's on his knees. Okay, yeah, that looks like him. But why is there another just puddle of orange? That doesn't make sense. What's this? Why is there no mattress from what you can tell? There's just weird orange splotches. Unless he has some very weirdly colored blood. I don't know why it would look like that, right? Sorry. And so then we get some clarification. This is the first people reporting on it. DOJ releases shocking fake video of Jeffrey Epstein's suicide as part of file dump. So you're thinking, oh, look, it's a fake. That's fine. Done. No, because it was uploaded to the DOJ site where they're publishing all the stuff. It was published. So why are you publishing a fake video? And so then I'm going to give you what's the most likely answer, not the conspiracy theorist answer. But if you're a conspiracy theorist, what's your thought going to be? No, not even conspiracy theorist. If you're just thinking like, what would be a crazy explanation? That they are publishing a bunch of files they have. And this was a fake video that was created to be like, he committed suicide if he didn't, But no, we're not going there. Instead, the explanation from the DOJ is that they had come across that fake video that some conspiracy theorist had created or someone had created on the internet. And like it was downloaded as they were documenting stuff. That's fine. If someone said, I have a video and you proved it was fake, you would still have it on a computer somewhere. So then because they're required to release all the stuff they have that have been logged in the files of Epstein, then they have to publish it. Sometimes I wish I could be, because there is. Think about what Candace could do with this. Shooey! The DOJ on Monday released shocking footage. While we continue through this breaking news segment, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate the show. I'm going to show you Trump reacting to the botched rollout of these files in a bit here, because we also have that as breaking news. They released shocking footage that appeared to be a recreation of Jeffrey Epstein's suicide in his Manhattan jail cell, and it briefly set the internet on fire. The video was posted without explanation to the Justice Department website as part of the Epstein file dump. You can't just publish that without a caption, without an explanation. To my previous point in a different segment, it feels like they're trying to make us go crazy. And it's just like the latest item, or it's just the latest item among a trove of documents. The grainy 12-second computer-generated clip showed a white-haired man in an orange jumpsuit struggling and jerking his head about while kneeling at the base of a jail cell bunk bed. Is this how he was supposedly even trying to do it? Wouldn't you want to get the thing up higher? The timestamp on the video was 4:29 a.m., 2 hours before the pedophile's body was found in his cell. The scene in the video seemed to match Epstein's cell, but a closer examination of the clip shows things were not quite right, with a pile of orange prison clothes strewn about the ground, looking like orange puddles. Oh, that's the word I used. Without any texture, while the door to the jail cell did not match the one. And soon it was revealed in another dumped document, the clip was in fact a fake video that circulated on 4chan and was flagged by investigators by a Florida conspiracy theorist. And I think that's very reasonable, actually. Even though, again, I wanted to walk it through that way because it's like, what are we doing? But that makes sense that it was circulating, so investigators have to deal with some level of gravity with videos that are getting circulated proclaiming to be the video, the security footage. And so then they, at some point, flagged it and then kept it, and now legally they have to release it. So again, they're redacting random things they don't have to redact. They're not redacting actual, in some cases, survivors' names, which they're supposed to redact. And then they're releasing with no explanation, no redaction, computer-generated videos recreating the suicide. And then just like as if they're trying to go, tune in, you never know what's going to drop next. They're posting it without explanation. You know what's going to happen if you post that. Everyone's going to go, what? Huh? Really? But no. If you see that circulated, I bet some people are going to jump on it and post a video acting like that's the real thing, but not this show. Not this show. We care about facts. So the running explanation that I think is perfectly reasonable is it had been circulating on 4chan. They checked it out. It was fake, but because it was in a document somewhere, they released it. And it's not real, and there wasn't a video. So your mind can still run wild with what actually happened. But we do know he had made, like, what wasn't it? Multiple nooses were all strewn about, and then a bunch of piles of clothes, and then there wasn't footage of in the cell or the outside door of the cell, but there was footage over here. A little missing footage, but what are we gonna do? That's not even the important part, is it? I would more want justice for survivors than like justice for, I guess that might help get to who would have been covering up if that had happened, but what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I don't know. I don't know as much as you don't know. Or I do, or I don't. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. Could have been a suicide. You know? I don't. It makes me feel like I'm conspiracy theorizing whenever I start saying, well, maybe this happened. But there were a lot of really strange events, and I think we can all acknowledge that, without doing what people who care less about facts do, which is proclaim to know exactly what did happen. I don't know exactly what did happen, but I do know it's perfectly reasonable to be suspicious. Even very credible journalistic entities have examined the series of events and said, this is weird, this is very strange, and that's fine. Now here's Trump speaking on the issue. Not about the footage, but...
I think it's terrible. Look, I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him, he's been nice to me. We've always gotten along, respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they're giving their photos of me too.
Every Republican, except for Clay Higgins, right, voted for the release. It's not just a few Republicans. And he's still saying asking for transparency is proof that you're a bad Republican or a crazy Democrat. He should not be able to live this down. And I mean, he has gotten along, I guess, with Bill Clinton at times. I'm not going to do the reference. You're thinking, oh, there's such low-hanging fruit that you could say about the thing that came out of the thing. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. That's just so basic now. Making the Bubba reference is a basic now. And I think it's beneath me. Now, I can't think what is above me. I'm reaching for that right as we speak, and I can't think of what's up here then. So we got along with Bubba, great, right? Maybe I'll just go back down. Maybe we'll just go back down beneath me, because that's all I can think of. But isn't that insane? He's going, I hate to see photos of Bill Clinton getting posted. Yeah, what about you? What about the photos of you?
Less than $2 in some states, $1.99.
All right, now this is on a different topic, but watch his math. Watch his math. We finally got him to explain his math on drug prices. Let's listen.
$1.97, $1.95 a gallon. $1.95. Think of that. A gallon. Nobody ever thought they'd see that. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about Epstein. And the problem is a lot of Democrats are being caught up in the web, like Larry Summers. Larry Summers was the head of Harvard. He's now been forced to resign from every board he's on, and he was thrown off the Harvard board. Now, he was at Epstein's Island a lot. I wasn't. I never went there, by the way. But fortunately, it's nice. But I never went there. But a lot of people did go there.
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason for you to go to an island when the parties were being hosted at your house, right? A lot of the documents talked about the events that happened at Mar-a-Lago. I'm not saying criminal events necessarily, but 14-year-olds at Mar-a-Lago. What would be the possible justification for that? And that was the wrong clip. I'm happy you got to hear that. This is what I thought I was playing on the drug prices.
But instead of talking about the battleships, or instead of talking about most favored nations drugs, we're bringing down drug prices like at a level that has never even been thought of, by thousands. Think of it, by 1,000%, by 1,200, 1,300, 1,400% in some cases. A drug that sells for $10 in London is costing $130 in New York. We're bringing it down to $20, and they're going to go up to 20. So they're going from 10 to 20, which is a doubling. It's a doubling. That's a lot, but it's a doubling. But we're going down to 20. So we're going down, if you can do your own math, but it's 2,000%, 3,000%. It's pretty amazing. And
it's so bad, guys. Let's look at those numbers again. A drug that sells at $10 in London is costing $130 in New York. Again, I don't know if those numbers are right, but true that it's outrageously more expensive in the United States. I don't believe Trump actually has good systemic solutions for that. But he's saying that a drug that was $130 in New York will go down to $20. Okay? So a reminder that $130, a 100% decrease of $130 is $0. Now let's pick a different number. $2,000. A 100% decrease of $2,000 is $0. We could do this all day, baby. And so 130 going to 20 is not 2,000%. But he's saying that it is. Or 3,000%, quote unquote, you can do your own math. Well, that's his own math, and it's wrong.